Today is Halloween. Enjoy our creepy music, scary ghosts, and frightening folklore. Trick or treat. Two men went hunting together. They traveled all day, and when they encamped for the night, exchanged stories with each other. One said that if you mixed together the brains of a black snake, a black squirrel, and a wild turkey and ate them, you would turn into a snake. The other replied, "If that is the case, I believe I will try it." "That is the story," said his companion, "and I do not believe it would be well to try it." The other was anxious to test its truth, however, so he got the 3 different kinds of brains, mixed them together, and ate them. "I have eaten the things we were talking about," he said to his comrade, and the latter answered, "When I told the story, I did not think you would do that. You have done wrong." They were very fond of each other. Then the hunters lay down to sleep, and during the night the one who had eaten the brains called out, "My friend, the story you heard was a true one. It is coming to pass." From his thighs down he was already a serpent. The next time he spoke to his friend, his entire body had turned into a snake. He told him to go along with him, saying, "I must now find a place to which I can retire." They went on until they came to a small, deep pool made by an uprooted tree, and the snake said, "When you return to camp, move some distance back. Come to see me in the morning and discharge your gun, and we will have a talk before you go home." The hunter did as he had been directed, and when he returned to the place next day, found that the pool had expanded into a large, deep pond. He discharged his gun, and the snake came up in the middle of the sheet of water. Then he sank out of sight and soon came crawling up the bank. He said, "When you get through hunting and return home, tell my parents of the accident which has befallen me. If they want to come to see me, tell them to discharge a gun at this place. Tell my parents not to be afraid of me. I am their child." The friend could do nothing more, so he returned home and will come out right here at the edge of the water, and you must not be afraid of him." So the father and mother sat down there side by side. Presently the snake came up and crawled over them, and then returned and laid its head against its mother's jaw. It shed tears, but could not speak. It wrapped itself around them in all kinds of ways, and then unfolded and returned to the lake. The parents wept, but they could not help themselves, so they returned home. That was what they call the tie snake. A man and his wife camped out in a certain place with many dogs in order to hunt. The dogs would trail a bear, and when they had brought it to bay, they would bark in a peculiar manner, whereupon the man would come up and kill the bear. In this way he got a number of them. During this time he hunted in all directions from his camp except toward the southeast, and finally he started off in that direction. There he found a piece of flat land running down to the bottom land, and just beyond, a very rough, rocky place. Presently he heard his dogs bark near the rocks, and supposed they had found a bear, so he started in the direction of the noise. When he got near, however, he saw something dart out from among the rocks, seize the dog and carry it back. It was a huge lizard. Then the man turned round and ran back toward his camp. When he had covered about half of the distance, he stopped and listened. It sounded as though but few dogs were left. After a short time, he stopped again to listen, and now he heard but one dog bark. The next time he stopped, he heard none. When he had gotten still farther, he looked back, and the ground being open behind him, found that he was being pursued. The hunter soon discovered that the big lizard was certain to catch him, so he dropped upon the ground and lay flat upon his chest. When the lizard came up, he heard it panting like a tired dog. It took him in its mouth and started to carry him back to its den. The man looked from time to time to see how near they were to the place, and at last he saw that they were close to the place from which he had started running. There he noticed something moving about. He thought that in a moment the lizards were going to cut him in pieces and eat him. But when they reached the place where the thing moved, he heard something making a scratching noise in a tree nearby. The lizard heard it also and threw the man down, but the latter continued to lie still as if he were dead. The noise which he had heard was made by a tiger, panther, which now jumped down upon the lizard. The lizard tried to seize it, but the tiger quickly sprang out of reach and then jumped down upon it again and immediately back upon another tree. Each time the tiger scratched, the tiger, but the man remained where he was until the animal lifted him to his feet. But then the man staggered about in a circle 4 times. The tiger lapped him all over, or let his saliva run all over him, and said, "Can you stand on your feet?" "No," the man answered. "Then come and climb upon my back, and I will carry you." The man told him he thought he would be too heavy, but the tiger answered, "Oh, I can carry you. Sometimes I carry 2 deer, and I can carry you just as easily." So the hunter climbed up on the tiger's back and started with him for camp. On the way they came upon the shot pouch which he had dropped when he was being pursued, and later on the gun. The tiger told him to pick them up and carry them with him. After they had reached a place close to his camp, the tiger set him upon the ground and told him to go the rest of the way himself. The man invited him to come to his camp and get all the food he wanted, but the tiger answered that he could got plenty. Before parting from the hunter, however, he said, "My friend, I have 2 nephews whom you must never disturb." "Who are they?" asked the man. "One is Wildcat and the other Housecat. Housecat is the lesser. You must not tell anyone what I have said to you." However, at a later time the man did tell some people about it. After that they parted and the man returned to his camp. The summer after this, the same man was on the hunt and heard turkeys gobbling. He discovered one of them sitting at the top of a pine tree and was preparing to shoot at it when he noticed something crawling up the tree toward it. This he found was a wildcat, and, remembering what the tiger had said to him, he gave up attempting to shoot the turkey and stood watching. Presently the wildcat sprang at the turkey, but missed it and fell from the top of the tree to the bottom. It struck the ground and he heard it cry, "W-A plus O, Y plus O, Y plus O." Remembering what the tiger had done for him, the hunter ran to the place to see what he could do for this animal. He found that it had knocked out an eyeball, and when he came near, said, "Have you hurt yourself?" On hearing the man speak, however, the wildcat, who was trying to put his eyeball back in place, pulled it out, threw it away, and ran off. A man who was pretty well off was very fond of gambling with cards, and one time he lost everything he owned. Then he determined to find the devil and get help from him, so he set out toward the west. On the evening of the same day, he met a man coming along on a mule. The man asked, "Where are you going?" if you want me to help you, you must work for me, and I am a pretty hard master, but if you wish you can try. However, the gambler was so anxious to win back what he had lost that he agreed. "I have only a quarter," said the devil, "but take it back to the place where you lost and play again." Then the devil turned back, and the gambler also returned to his home. When he arrived, he told the people who had won from him that he was ready to play again. "How much money have you?" they asked. "Only a quarter." "Why, you can't do anything with that," they replied. However, they started playing again, and before long, he won half of his property back. Then he doubled the bet and won it all, and returned with it to his home. Sometime later, the gambler suddenly thought, "Why, I promised to work for the devil. I will go and see about it." He went in the same direction he had before taken, passed far beyond the place where he had encountered the devil, and finally came to a house. "Where are you going?" they asked. "I promised to work for a man, and I am in search of him." "What is his name?" "His name is the devil. Down yonder there are 3 women swimming. If you can steal the clothes belonging to one of them, she will take you to him." These were the devil's daughters. So the man did as he had been advised. He stole the clothes belonging to one of the women and hid them, concealing himself also. When the girls were ready to go home, 2 of them found their clothes, but the clothes of the third were missing. The third girl, therefore, remained in the water and called out, "If someone will bring my clothes back, I will do what he wants." Therefore, the man brought the girl's clothes to her. She put them on and then asked him where he was going. "To see the devil," he replied. "He is our father." "Why do you want to see him?" "I was beaten in gambling, and he loaned me some money, for which I agreed to work for him." "Our father is a very bad man," she said, "but if you wish, we will take you to him." When they got home, the devil was there, and he said to the newcomer, "You are the man who was to work for me. You have come. I do not work in the daytime. I work at night, so you can sleep during the day." The man, therefore, rested all that day, and in the evening the devil gave him some tools and told him to remove before morning a high bald mountain which stood opposite. The gambler found he could do nothing with it, but the girl whose clothes he had stolen had offered to help him, so he went to her. "I can't even cut into it," he said. said, "I will do it for you," she answered, and they went back together. She took with her a kind of shovel, and when she had thrown a shovel full of earth north, west, south, and east in succession, the mountain was gone. "Lie here until morning," she said, and returned home. The devil came at daybreak, and the man said to him, "I have completed that job." "You have done well," answered the devil. "Go to sleep now, and tonight I will give you another job." So the man rested all of that day, and in the evening the devil said, "Over there in the lot are some horses. I want you to have them all broken by daylight." The man went to the place and found a big corral full of horses. He roped one of them, but it escaped from him along with the lariat. As he could do nothing with them, he went P78 to the girl again. She asked what the matter was, and he replied, "I roped a horse and it ran away with the lariat. I can do nothing with them." Then the girl said, "I will do it," and together they went to the place. She had a way of knocking them down by hitting them on the knockback of the head. Then she mounted and rode each, so that before morning she had all of them broken. She told the man to wait there until day and then go and tell the devil that he had accomplished his task. Upon hearing it, the devil's wife said to him, "Why, no one could compete with you formerly, but I think you have met your match. I think he is going to gain one of your daughters." At the words of his wife, the devil became angry and said, "Well, I will find out tonight whether he can compete with me." He told the man to retire for the day, and in the evening set him another task. "My wife lost a fine gold ring down yonder in the creek. You must get it by daylight." The man went to the creek but could see nothing there except numbers of fish, so he had to come back to the girl. He told her that he had come because he could not make the first move toward accomplishing the task he had been set. "I will do it," she said. "A fish swallowed a ring. Cut me in pieces and throw me into the water, and we will get the ring." He hated to do that and put it off until after midnight, but at last he killed her, cut her in pieces joint by joint, and threw all into the water except the joint of one of the fingers which was left on land. She was gone for a long time, but at length came up in her proper form, bringing a big fish. "Cut that fish open," she said, and when he had done so he found the ring inside. Then the girl told him to remain where he was until daylight, as he had done it before, and afterwards go and tell the devil. She added, "I know that your next next task will be to drain all of the water out of that lake. The man did as he had been told, and when he presented the ring, the devil's wife said to her husband, "You used to brag that no one could compete with you, and here is one man who is going to do it and win your daughter, and indeed has already done so." This angered the devil again, but he told the man to rest until evening. At night the devil came to him and said, "Over yonder is a big lake. Go and bail the water all out of it." He was given a dipper and set to work bailing up the water and pouring it on, but it appeared to him that he was doing nothing at all. So he went to the devil's daughter once more. As before, she agreed to help him and they set out. She took with her 4 hollow reeds, and with each of these she dipped out water toward the north, west, south, and east in turn, whereupon the lake vanished, telling the man to remain where he was and inform her father in the morning. She went home. Therefore, about daybreak the man went to the devil and said, "I have completed that task you set me." Then the devil said, "I will give you one of my daughters if you will dance 4 times with each of them and pick out the same one 4 times in succession." The man picked out the girl who had helped him 4 times in succession by means of the missing finger joint, and the devil gave her to him. But as soon as the pair retired to their room, the girl said, "My father is very mean. We must leave the house and run away." They did so immediately, but before they went she left a bubble of saliva in the middle of the floor. Then they climbed upon the back of the devil's mule and started off. In the morning the devil came to their door and called out, but there was no reply, and he thought, "They are probably still asleep." When he called again, the saliva answered for them and thus delayed him for a considerable time. At last he discovered that they were gone, and he set out after them, but was unable to overtake them and turned back. When the man came in sight of his own home, he said to his wife, "Yonder is my home. I will go on ahead and see it. If you do, you will forget me," she replied. The man persisted, however, and sure enough his wife went entirely out of his head. One time as he was sitting at the table, he whirled a biscuit on it, which turned into a dove and flew away. This was the woman he had left. It flew out into the wilderness, and because it was abandoned, it now has a lonesome way of calling. Thanks for watching our video.